The Minnesota State Mavericks, Mike Hastings joins us post-practice, getting ready to make a big trip to Michigan Tech. Mike, your thoughts on that weekend split with Northern Michigan, and then maybe you could talk about this weekend's matchup with the Huskies over in Houghton.
Tough series, last series. It always is when we play Northern. I think the team that deserved to win on Friday did. We had a couple of opportunities previous to losing in overtime to cash in. Didn't do that. They did a great job of defending. And then they put it on a stick of a guy that's leading goal scorer in our league. He finished the game, and then I thought on Saturday we had a good response. David Cillier, Ryan Sandelin, Cade Borchardt, Cade Livingstone, Akita Hirose, guys that we need to have impacts on a nightly basis for us, I thought really played well on Saturday and allowed us to get the win on Saturday. So 4 of 6 points was a good weekend for us against a very good Northern team. Now we've got to go on the road and try and find a way to get points against a team that's playing really well. Joe always does a good job. They're prepared. 7th in the country defensively, outstanding goaltending with Pietila. They get a tremendous amount of buy-in from their group. It's a difficult place to play. For me personally, it's a great place to go play because they push you. You're gonna play in an adverse condition and against a group that's motivated to defend their home ice. So we'll learn a little bit more about our club after this weekend.
Great, thanks for that, Mike. A couple of journalists online. Let's start with Kevin Dudley via Zoom.
Pietila has been a guy that has played some really good games against you in the past. You look at what his numbers are right now this year; it's pretty incredible. Just talk about the challenge of getting the puck past him and what makes his game so special.
Well, a couple of things. One, I think he's incredibly talented, and with Joe's history in goaltending and his ability to decipher talent and then develop it once it gets there. If you look over time at, and you're going all the way back to Miller prior to him going to Michigan State and having the career that he had, and Joe's just had a history of doing real good things with goaltenders that are talented. Secondly, they defend as a group as well as anybody in the country. You're not going to get a lot of second and thirds because they're clearing you out. And he does such a good job of controlling his rebounds. He's not an acrobatic type goaltender that's all over the place. He's calm, he's collected, and he's somebody that's had an awful lot of success not only against us but in his career there. So that combined with their commitment to team defense, when you're giving up less than 2 goals a game, you're going to win a lot of hockey games. And right now they're giving up less than 2 a night.
Tim Rapoli, do you have a question for Mike?
I do. Keenan Rancière had maybe his best weekend as a Maverick last weekend. I don't know how practice went, but I don't know. Are you ready to select a goalie to put between the pipes this weekend?
With us having Tim, with us having the break that we're having right now as far as the week, and just getting done on Wednesday, I'll talk to our goaltending coach a little bit today. We had a goaltending session prior to practice. But I agree with you, and I appreciate you identifying that Keenan did have a good weekend last weekend. Gave us an opportunity to win both games where maybe on Friday night we didn't deserve to be in the spot that we were, but because of his play, we had an opportunity to win that game. So he's put together a really good week of practice, but so was a couple of our other guys. So I'll still be mulling that over here as we're getting on the bus and heading up for our first stop in Duluth, and then from there.
Back to you, Kevin.
There's a lot of different teams in your league, but you look at the spectrum going from, Northern and the way they can play at times, open it up off the rush, to the way Tech plays is a little bit different preparation, preparing for Tech than it is Northern.
Well, week in and week out, there always is some nuances that are a little bit different. We're still trying to fix some of our own inadequacies and continue to build on some strengths that we've had lately. But for the most part, they're both structured teams. Even though offensively, Northern might be putting up some more numbers. Their power play has been very good. When you look at Tech's power play, they're getting a lot of really good looks right now. Joe is shown historically to be very flexible, very elastic, and what we saw last week might be something completely different than what we'll see when the puck drops on Friday. So to me, both bring different challenges. It's one that I think you're going to have to make sure that if you think you're going to get to 5 or 6, it just doesn't happen. And so we've tried to make sure that we're, closing holes in our game defensively that we needed to, that maybe were shown this last weekend.
Time for one or two more if you have one. Kevin? Tim?
I've got one, Paul. This is sort of a weird analogy. Paul will relate to it. He's an old-timer like me. But Bob Probert was a heavyweight champ of the NHL as a tough guy. And one day New Jersey lost a fight to Troy Crowder, and other people started watching the video and saying, hey, he might be vulnerable. Do you get a sense that after Friday night's loss that other teams in the league and the CCHA might sense that the gap is closing between you and the other McNaughton Cup contenders?
Oh, I think there's no doubt it's closed, and our league is as condensed as the time that I've been in it, from top to bottom. We've got a multiple group of teams that I think are going to be in the running to try and win the championship. The difference between winning and losing in our league, whether you look at really historically what has happened with St. Thomas here in the brief history here of this season, boy, they've had some real close games with ourselves, with Tech. They haven't been rewarded for the work that they've put in as far as wins and losses, but you can't tell myself after going through it as a coach against them, or Joe, if you watch the games that were played this last weekend, the difference between who's on top of the standings and who's at the bottom is razor thin right now. So, I mean, I know Tech's probably really excited about having us come up into their building because they've had success against us previously. Every single time we play them, every year, it's an absolute battle. So I just think the parity, not only in our league but college hockey, is as great as it's ever been.
Thanks very much. Good luck this weekend, Houghton.